Let's talk about the questions for preparing the exam of CodeDeLaRoute. The road marking helped me to assess safety. Option A, yes. Option B, no. I am more than 2 seconds away from the vehicle in the front of me. Option C, yes. Option D, no. So for this question, the answer is option A, yes, and option C, yes. Each line represent separating the carriageway from the shoulder measure 38-meter, a length equal to distance traveled in 1 second at 130 km per hour. The average reaction time is 1 second. I must leave a safety distance from the vehicle in front of me double that time. That is 2 second. In other words, two line on the roadside, which means one line is equals to danger and two line equals to safety. On a vehicle with an automatic gearbox, I press the brake to remove position P. Option A, yes. Option B, no. So answer for this question is option A. Position P on the automatic gearbox is used to hold the vehicle when parking. Prevents the brake automatic brake from being removed if the brake pedal is not pressed. The driver is likely to drive an automatic vehicle, particularly with the development of the electric vehicle market. These vehicles are easier to drive than gearbox, but it is useful to be aware of their particular characteristics. Next question. If I don't obey this officer who is waving me off, I am liable to pay a fine of 3,750 euros. Option A, yes. Option B, no. A lose of 6 points. So question, for this question, the answer is option A and option C. Why? If I don't stop, it's a refusal to yield. The maximum fine is 3,750, and I risk losing 6 points on my driving license. I could even face 3 months imprisonment. A new driver only has a 6 point on his driving license. They should be aware that a single offense can lead to their license being invalidate. The force of law and other intervene in public space to prevent accidents. Next question. A young driver can read these clues at the same time. Option A, yes. Option B, no. Experience allow you to choose the most important clue. Option C, yes. Option D, no. For this question, the answer is for the first one, B, no, and for the second one, C, yes. Why? My eyes and my brain cannot process all the information at the same time. The experience acquired over the kilometer travel and the situation will help me to focus on the most relevant clues. The new driver must understand that his inexperience may represent a danger and that this is why his speed must be higher than that of the novice. Their speed must be more limited than that of an experienced drivers. So what does this question says? So this question says, despite the low speed, I keep looking around. Option A, yes. Option B, no. I keep to the right side in my lane. Option C, yes. Option D, no. So, so for this question, the answers are option A, yes. Option C, yes. Why? Because I have to keep my eyes on the road all the time, as motorists can get in the way when the traffic slow downs. Cross traffic has been tried out in the 11 departments. So during the trial phase, driver must be aware of the risk associated with the vulnerable road user, future driver to the presence of the vulnerable road users such as two vehicle or four vehicles. So the next question is, I turn right at the intersection. Option A, overtake the cyclist. Option B, I give him the signal to pass. So for this question, the answer is option B. I gave him the signal to pass. If I turn right in the front of a cyclist, I risk hitting him. As a motorcyclist, I must ensure the safety of the most vulnerable road user. Driver must know how to share the road with the cyclist, of whom there are an increased number in the building areas, especially in the urban areas. So it is better to give them the way. So next question is, before calling for help, I check that the victim is breathing. Option A, yes. Option B, no. Is conscious. Option C, yes. Option D, no. So for this question, the answers are yes. For option A, yes, and option C, yes. Why? The order of an action in the event of an accident is to protect or alert than the rescue. In the alert phase, I must give precise information about the victim condition to the emergency to enable them to intervene as effectively as possible. First aid procedure, as a part of the application, first aid technique as a part of for the preparation for a driving license. These skills are assessed during the journal theory test. The effectiveness of the emergency service depend on the quality of the information they have received. So the next question is, I I am keeping particularly close eyes on the zone A, option A, zone B, option C. I place my foot in the front of the brake. Option C, yes. Option D, no. So for this question, the answer are option B, zone B, and option C, yes. Passenger leaving the bus may cross the roadway in the zone B. By placing my foot in the front of the brake, I reduce my reaction time if I had to stop to let a pedestrian to cross. So always beware of the risk associated with the vulnerable road user. In addition to the rule, driver must be able to detect potential dangerous areas. This include taking into the account of behavior of the vulnerable road user. So thank you for watching. First question. To do well, option A, I take my foot off the accelerator now. Option B, I will brake at just 150 meter. So for this question the answer is option A. Why? If I do not start braking until I am 150-meter away, I still be going at 80 kilometer per hour at the point where the sign has an effect. By taking my foot off the accelerator now, you will slow down naturally and the speed will close to 50 kilometer per hour in 150 meter. As a result, my driving is smoother and I will consume less fuel. So the next question is, visible sign of the driver fatigue may include. The first is neck pain. Option A, yes. Option B, no. A frequent need to change the position. Option C, yes. Option D, no. So for this question, for the pain of neck, yes, and a frequent need to change the position, yes. So answers are option A and option C. The signs of fatigue are very noticeable because the driver often changes his position, which he finds uncomfortable, and few minor pain appears in the back of the neck and the shoulder, which so the reaction time also increases. So beware of these signs generally proceeds to the sleep, which comes suddenly and without any warning. So be aware of these signs. So the next question is, I overtake. Option A is yes, option B is no. So for this question the answer is no. Why? I am driving in the direction and the visibility is not good. I have to look carefully ahead, and then can see that there is an oncoming vehicle, so I can do not overtake. So the next question is, the effect of alcohol are only felt after the second drink. Option A is yes, option B is no. So for this question, the answer is option B, no. The harmful effect of alcohol can be felt from the very first drink. The driver visual perception, reasoning, and ability to act may impair even if the blood alcohol level after one drink doesn't exceed 0.10 to 0.50 mg of the exhaled air. So depending on the individual, the danger may be underestimated to a greater or lesser degree. So the next question is, the load of a vehicle may exceed. First, at the front, option A is yes, option B is no. At the end, option C is yes, option D is no. So, for this question, the answers are option B no and option C yes. Why? Because it is permitted to carry a load in a vehicle provided a few rules that are to be observed. At the front, it must not exceed the plumb line of the vehicle, that is limit of the bumper. At the rear, a maximum overload of overrun of 3 meter is permitted. However, as soon as it exceeds 1 meter, the load must be indicated by the reflexive device, supplement by the red light to warn the following traffic to keep their distance. This sign it tells me option A prohibition, option B an obligation, option C an indication, and option D a junction. So for this question, it is answer A, B, C, and D. Why? The first sign on the left indicates an obligation, the second sign on the right indicates a junction, and the direction. So the next question is, I can drive in the left hand lane. So option A is yes, option B is no. So for this question, the answer is option B, no. Why? The white line is continuous, so it means it is preventing the traffic from moving into the left hand lane. So it means you cannot move to the left side of the road. The next question is, I I am speeding up. Option A yes, option B no. I slow down. Option C yes, option D no. So for this question, the answers are option B no and option D no. Why? I do not slow down because a motorist is overtaking me in the rear view mirror could be mislead. So it is better not to be speed up and not to the slow down in this situation. So the next question is, I am driving on a priority road. Option A is yes, option B is no. For this question, the answer is yes. So, as we can see from this sign, which is ahead on the road, that it is an priority road. So, the next question is, I should be driving at 70 km per hour. Option A is for the traffic light. Option B is for 150 meter. Option C is only on this road. So, for this question, the answer is option A and option C, for the traffic lights and only on this road. As only on this road, as the sign indicates about the traffic light and the speed limit is 70 km per hour. So the next question is, I can exceed. Option A is yes, option no. B is. So for this question, the answer is option B, no. Why? As we can see from the image, that an incoming vehicle and the continue is coming, and there is a continuous white line, which means it is preventing us to overtake. So we cannot overtake in this situation. So next is, I would be limited at to 70 km per hour. So for this, the option A yes, option B. So the answer is option B, no. Why? The sign indicate that you are entering a built up area, so the speed limit will be 50 km per hour. In this situation, option A, I slow down. Option B, I maintain my speed. So the answer is option B, I maintain my speed. Why? The light is green, I maintain my speed so as not to mislead other drivers. So the next question is, this marker indicate that I am traveling on a route 526. Option A is true, option B is false. So the answer is option B, false. To find out which road I am on, I can use the marker. Here I need to look at the box at the top indicated that I am on A89 auto route. The number 526 corresponds to kilometer at which I am at. So the next question is, if I fail to comply with the lower speed limiting during a pollution peak, I risk option A, fine, option B, reduction of the points, option C, vehicle immobilization, option D, confiscation of the vehicle. So answers are option A, option B, and option C. A fine, a deduction of the point, and vehicle immobilization. Why? Failure to comply with the traffic suspension or restriction is punishable by a fine and the immobilization of the vehicle. It could also lead to the lose of point of the speeding. So the next question is, if I turn right, option A, I stay in this lane, option B, I will move into the right hand lane, option C, I will have to give a way. So the answers are option A and option C. I stay on this line and I will have to give the way. This white marking to my right says a reserved line. As letter indicate, it is reserved for buses, which mean that no other user is allowed to use it. So even if I turn red, I have to stay it in my lane, which allow me to turn right as the arrow indicate. But be careful, in my rear view mirror, I see an oncoming bus. So before crossing its lane, I have to give a way to it, as its light is also green. So I have to prepare to stop also. So the next question is, if I see the sign on the left at the intersection, I might see the sign option A, first one, option B, second one, option C, third one, and option D, fourth one. So the answers are option C and option D. Third and fourth. The sign on the left tell me that the road I am on no longer has priority. It will therefore have to give the way at the next intersection. I will therefore encounter a stop sign or a passenger stop sign. So the next question is, at the next intersection, option A, I have the priority, option B, I must give way to the right. So for this question, the answer is option A. I have the priority. On the right, at this junction, I can see a road marking, a wide line, which means the traffic on the right has a stop sign. I therefore have the priority. I do not give a way to the right. The next question is, to go into the direction of Geneva, I get into the right hand lane. Option A is true, option B is false. So the answer is option A, true. Why? To get to the Geneva, I need to take a exit 1, which is 1000 meter away. To do this, I turn right. So the question is, on the right, option A, I can stop. Option B, I can park. Option C, I can drive. And option D is, the lane is reserved for the cyclist. So, for this question, the answer is option D. The lane is reserved for the cyclist. Why? The right hand lane is marked by thin broken white line, which is a cycle lane. So I cannot stop, park, or drive on the right side. So the next question is, this sign indicate a traffic light. Option A, permanent. Option B, temporary. So for this question, the answer is option A, permanent. Why? This danger sign announcing a traffic light has a white background. It is therefore permanent. And if it is a yellow background, it means it is a temporary one. But here it is a white background, so it is a permanent sign. So for this question, it says that the car in front is driving very slowly. So I overtook it. Option A, yes. Option B, no. So for this question, the answer is option B, no. Why? Although the car in front of me is driving slowly, I see a turning arrow, so I have to give up overtaking and stay behind this car. So the next question is, I can stop in the hand lane to drop off a passenger. Option A is true, option B is false. So, for this question, the answer is option B, false. Why? Because a bus stop is marked out on the right hand lane, so therefore I cannot park or neither stop there at the risk of interfering with the bus, which may be came or drive at any time. So the next question is, the 50 km per hour limit begin at option A at the first sign, option B at the town entrance sign. So for this question, the answer is at the first sign. Why? Because if no sign completes a prohibition sign, the speed signs are included. They may apply when they are located. So Here, the speed limit is 50 km per hour before the official entrance to the built up area marked by the sign. So, the next question is, at 200-meter, traffic will be in a single lane. Option A true, option B false. So, for this question, the answer is option B false. Why? This sign indicates that after 200-meter, the carriageway will narrow on the left hand side, but there will still two lanes of the traffic. So next question is, I continue toward Paris. Option A, I stay on this lane. Option B, I take the lane directly on my on my directly on my right. So for this question is answer A. What, I stay on this line. Why? I am driving on a one way road with two lanes. I am currently in the left hand lane, but both lanes allow me to travel toward Paris. However, there is a determined line here, so I have to stay in the left lane until the end of the direction. So the next question is, I am going to come across a level crossing. So option A is with automatic barrier. Option B is with manually operated barrier. Option C is without barrier. So for this question, the answer is with automatic barrier. Why? The sign informed me that the level crossing announced by this sign it completed with the equipped with the automatic barrier or a half barrier. This plate indicate tire pressure for a light loaded vehicle. Option A true, option B false. I checked the pressure. C. Option C all four wheels and option D spare wheel. For their answers are option A and option C. The tire pressure for the lighted loaded vehicle for is true. I checked the pressure for all the wheels, which is option C. Why? This plate indicates the tire pressure for a vehicle that is lightly loaded, symbolized by a small weight. When I check the pressure, I check all the four wheels and the spare wheel. The front wheel, rear wheel, and the spare wheel may have different pressures. So the next question is, I am entering. Option A built up area, option B locality, option C a tourist resort, option D a cultural place. For this answer the option B, a locality. This sign with the black background indicates a locality. The other sign limit the speed limit to 70 km per hour. So, thank you for watching. So